Hi everyone and welcome back to this INDESIGN class. In the last video we saw how to install the program on our PC and then we briefly introduced INDESIGN. Today we're gonna go a little bit deeper into the program and I'm gonna show you how INDESIGN Workspace and interface work, and last I'm gonna show you some basic tools. So this is the interface that we're gonna see once we open INDESIGN. As we can see here in front of us, we have some presets we can choose from, either for printing design or iPad or website. Okay, so let's start and let's open a new document, a new file. We can do it from here, the blue button, new file, or from file up here, new document. So let's do it from here, new file. Again, here we have some presets for print design, everyone with different size, and some presets for the web and for mobile. Okay, so right now let's open a simple document, simple file for print design. So this basic A4, and here on the right we can customize our document with the size or the orientation. We can also choose the page numbers and some other parameters that we're gonna see in the next videos. So now let's go on create, and here we are. This is our INDESIGN workspace. So let's begin by understanding and exploring the workspace of INDESIGN. Okay, so let's start from here. On the upper right we see something called Essential. This is the name of the workspace I'm currently in, and if we click on it we can see a list of other workspaces I can choose from, depending on which project I'm working on, so depending on which tool I need, where I need them, but we also can create a new workspace. So now we're gonna see how we can customize this. So we're gonna manipulating our workspace, and trust me, this is really gonna help you, especially maybe once you're becoming familiar with the program and you will know what to use more, so what you need here, there. Let's begin. First of all, let's click here on new workspace. You can also name it, so for example workspace number 1. Okay, so now as we see here we are working currently in workspace 1. This is really helpful also when, for example, we share our computer with other people, because this way we can always find our workspace with all the tools we need and where we need them. Let's start here on the left. We have this panel full of tools, and now we see them in one column, but with this arrow here we can have them distributed in 2 columns. And then if we click here and move this panel, we can move them around our workspace whatever we want, and in 2 columns or 1 column. And also if you click another time, as we can see, we can place it horizontally, and we can have it up here or down the document, so whatever works for you. Kind of the same thing we have it here on the right side. As we can see, we have 3 different panels right now. We can take them and put them in the workspace, we can close it, or we can also make it disappear. But don't you worry, we can always find them again here on window. So everything you can see right now here, they're all panels that we can open and have it right here on the right side, or as we saw, we can move them around in workspace, whatever we want. So for example, we have the pages panel, which is really helpful and important because we can see here all the pages we have open in our document. And of course, it's more helpful when we are working on documents that have many pages. And then if we go here between the line that separates the workspace and the panels, I can reduce the space for the panels or reduce the workspace. So again, in this case, whatever works for you. So for example, right now I don't need this panel, CC libraries, so I want to close it and maybe open some other panels. So what I will do, I will just right click on it and then go on close. Here we are. And then now I will show you how to open some other. Let's go here on window, let's click on it, and for example, let's open properties. Here it is. So we can reduce it and then put it right back here. We can put it next to pages or on the right side of the Pages panel and have that here closed. Same things we can do with the panel pages and put it right under it. This way we're gonna have all the panels closed, and by click on it we can easily open them. Once again, let's click on a window, and also you can see that many of them has other submenus, like for example color has 3 extra menus, so color, gradient and swatches. And here we are, the panel color. Also for that, of course, we can move it around the workspace or also place it right here next to the other ones. An important one that we can find always here on a window menu is control. And this is really important, and I suggest you to leave it always right here because it's the control bar with many tools that basically you always need. And also for that, we can take it and move it around here. Personally, I prefer to have it right back here, so I will just leave it there. Okay, but now let's go back to essentials. So we're gonna have the same workspace and it's gonna be easier for you to follow me. And now let's analyze what we have down here. So here we have the zoom level. From we can see how far we are zoomed in. Next to it we have the page number. With this arrow right here, we can see all the page numbers. Of course, now we have just one page. But for example, if we go on pages and through this button, we create new page, for example, 2 new pages. And now let's go back here so we can see the 3 pages. And with these arrows here, we can move forward or backward, but also all the way back to the beginning or to the end. And really important, we have this right here, which is really important because trust me, you will want to keep an eye on it all the time. So what is it? Let's click on it and it's gonna open up this panel, which basically is gonna tell me how many errors there might be on the document, which kind of error and where they are located. So right now we are okay because we have no errors. We can also see it from here, from the green circle. While instead, when we have some errors, this circle is gonna be red. Let's now see something else that we can change or customize. Let's go up here on edit and then let's scroll down here on preference and then on general. Okay, so this is a panel that allows us to make preference changes and to customize some tools from INDESIGN. We can see on the left here the options and the submenus we have. For example, interface option, so we can change the theme color, and we can also decide to match passport to the theme color, so by check or uncheck here. Or down here, for example, we have the panels option, and for example, floating tools panel options, so the one we saw before. If we like them on a single column or double column, it's totally up to you. Or the document tabs here, you see the difference up here of the tabs that represent the different documents that we opened here on INDESIGN. For example, we have the spelling section, and here we can choose what to see during the spelling check. If we want to see misspelled words, repeated words, so we can check them or uncheck them, as we prefer. Or we have the units and increments, so we can choose if you want to see them in millimeters, or pixels, or picas, for example. And again, grids and guides, some tools that we of course will see in the next videos, really helpful, that help us to lay out documents. But for example, we can choose the color that we want for them, both for the grids and the guides. So here we can make all those preference changes that we want, but it's probably something you will do as soon as you become more comfortable with the programs. And you're probably gonna back here from time to time as you start learning more about the program, but there are also some options that you're not gonna change because you just like them the way they are and you're comfortable working with them, so you're not gonna change everything, of course. Okay, let's close it. And again, on edit, if we go on menus, we can also customize some other menus, which are the same menus we see up here. So from file to help, here there are. For example, let's click on edit, and we're gonna see here the same options. We're gonna see by clicking on up here. And also in this case, you're gonna come back here as soon as you learn more about what you use, what you don't use. And for example, if I know that these preference menus is something that I will go back on often, I can also establish a color for it, so enlight the voice preference, and this way it's going to be easier for me to find it. So for example, I want it blue. Let's click on OK, and let's see what happened. So up here on edit, you see that the voice preferences is enlightened with a blue color, which helps me to find it sooner, of course. And of course, you can do it with every tool on every menus you see up here. Okay, let's now see some basic tool, and in order to do that, let's open a file template. As we already said, a file template is a preset document, so is like a starter file, which includes the basic design elements. And you can find templates for a magazine, brochure, business cards, as you can see here on the right side. Okay, so now for example, this is a website where you can freely download them from, but there are many others. So you will see it's really easy to download them for free. Okay, let's look at this Outlook magazine A4. In order to download them, you have to click this orange button, free download. Okay, so once you've done that, let's go back on InDesign. Let's go on File, Open. Then let's choose the document you want to open, and then again open. So every time you're gonna open a template file, InDesign is gonna give you some warnings. Because as we said, it's a presets file, so it's a starter file. And that means that someone else already worked on it, and this someone else uses some fonts that we may not have, or some images, for example, that we definitely don't have. So it's going to give us these warnings, and InDesign is basically telling us that there are some images or fonts that we don't have. But let's not care about it now, so let's just skip. Okay, so now we have this document of 7 pages, as we can see here. Okay, so first of all, how we are moving into the workspace. We can use these bars here to go up and down, or to go left and right. Or, what I prefer, of course, what is also easier, with the scroll wheel of your mouse. And then also important, it's the zoom tool. So how can we zoom out or zoom in? Which of course is really important because we are not going to work always at the same zoom level. So for example, what I just did, I zoomed out and in with Command Alt from the keyboard and the scroll wheel from my mouse. So I press Alt and I scroll forward and backward with my scroll wheel. So either that, or we can also use the keyboard and press Ctrl++ to zoom in and Ctrl+- to zoom out. We also have a tool here on the left side, which is the zoom tool. So as we can see now, we have the hand lens with a plus. So if we click, we go zoom in. In order to zoom out, we have to press Alt, as we see now, the hand lens has a minus in it. So if we click now, we zoom out. Okay, and one more regarding the zoom is with the hand tool. Here above the zoom tool on the left side. So let's have the hand tool, which is also useful to move throughout the document. And of course we can move it like all around, so left, right, up and down. Now, how can we use this hand tool as a zoom? So basically we just have to left click for some seconds, and here we are. We have this red area, which is our zoom area. And now with the scroll wheel, we can reduce or increase this zoom area. So depending on what we want to zoom at. For example, let's zoom on this car, so I'm gonna reduce the zoom area, like this for example. And now I will just release the mouse. Okay, let's zoom out. Let's now see an important tool, which we can find from this left panel. Down here, the last one. So if we right click on it, now we're gonna see some different view of the interface we have. So now we're currently in the normal view, which is the working view, working area, That's why now, for example, we can see these text boxes or images boxes, and normally we also see the guides and the lines, the margins, which are probably also here, but maybe they're hid. So let's go again on the left here on the view options, and if we click on it, we see these different tools we have. So guides, smart guides. As we see, the guides are like hidden. So if we click on it, here we are, all these guides, margins that help us to lay out the document. So now that we are in working view, we see them all. So lines, margins, column separation, text boxes. And now I'm gonna give you a nice shortcut key, which I'm sure you're gonna appreciate because it's really helpful and you're gonna use it a lot. So let's see what happens if we simply click on W on the keyboard. Here we are. All the lines, margins are gone. Why is that? Because now, if you go back here on the left side and right click on this tool, now we're not in a normal view anymore, but we are currently in a preview. So in this view, we don't see the working tools anymore, but we preview our final document. So this is like the result we're gonna have once we printed our document. Again, with W from the keyboard. And another shortcut key that also can be useful, we have it by pressing Shift and W from the keyboard. And here it is. Now we are in presentation mode. And we can get through it simply clicking on the arrows from the keyboard. Now let's escape. And here we are back again. And one more important view is the bleed view. That is this one. Let's switch on working mode because it's easier to understand it. Okay, so let's zoom a bit in. Okay, so what bleed? Bleed is this red line we see here, and it's a printing term that describes the space that extends behind the size of our document, which is this one, no? While instead this thin black line we see here, and if we click W we see it better, so with black lines that rounds the edge of my document, is the trim size. That is the final size my document is gonna be. So why it's important to set the bleed area, the bleed line? Because it could happen that at the moment of the printing, the printer doesn't cut the document exactly along the trim line. And so we could have the document with a bit of this white part, which is definitely not the result we're hoping for. And the bleed helps you exactly with that. Okay, so for this video it's all. In the next video we are gonna create a new document and we're gonna set it a little bit. So we're gonna see, for example, some of these working tools like the columns, the margins. So stay tuned and I hope to see you in the next videos. Thank you for watching me. Bye bye.